Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this new webinar session. As you know, today it will be dedicated to our features we propose regarding Bluetooth access. So first of all, thank you very much for your participation. In the same time, as usual, my colleague Dennis will be here to answer all of your questions in the chat. And so we'll just a few seconds just to wait all the participants to join this webinar. It's just 10 o'clock in the morning here, and I hope everybody will learn many things regarding Bluetooth access. So let's talk about today's webinar. Today's webinar will be dedicated, of course, and about our Bluetooth access. But the idea is to show you how to program a Bluetooth access into our iPassant system. And then I will be able to show you how to use key app and how to enter with using a Bluetooth access and a smartphone. Okay, so let's be focused on Bluetooth access and the presentation of today's webinar. As you know, FDI has always been at the forefront of innovation since its creation in 1989. And because we really want to stay and offer a new possibility for the user to access their building using Bluetooth, we want to offer that possibility by using our iPassant system, powerful system, and also key app. And as you know, and most of you know, that today 50% of the web traffic is coming from mobile devices. So that's really important for us to know and to offer this possibility by entering your premises using Bluetooth access. So first of all, let's start with the advantages of using mobile access. Because mobile access, I will just ask Dennis just to switch off his microphone, because I think it's not really handy and it's not really really nice for all the people that they can hear a kind of echo while I'm talking. So when we are talking about Bluetooth access, we are not only offering something regarding a new way to access the building. Bluetooth access also offers many possibilities, and especially in terms of security. By offering and by entering the premises using your smartphone and Bluetooth, you enhance the security of your building. First of all, because all the communication between the mobile phone, the Bluetooth communication between the mobile phone and the readers are all encrypted. And in the same time, it's because also that a user will never share his smartphone, while sometimes when he forgot his proximity credential, he might ask somebody else for his proximity card. So having said that, and by proposing a secure communication, encrypted communication between both, and the possibility to let's say to offer the access by your smartphone, and because the smartphone is now used for paying, from banking to paying, Bluetooth access and mobile access will offer you more security for your building. The second point is an easy programming. We'll see later in the presentation that the main idea of offering a new way to access your building with your smartphone is to offer the same easy programming that it would have been for a proximity credential. So we'll see that programming a Bluetooth access has never been so simple using iPassant. It's exactly the same way as programming a standard proximity MyFair card. So that's also a point which is really important, because we don't want to add more difficulties in a site when you propose a new way to access. Also, especially in today's world, due to all that COVID-19 crisis, unfortunately, people are looking for contactless access. So contactless access can mean, in terms of programming, by using Bluetooth access, you don't have to meet the person, the end user, and giving his proximity card. You just need to have his mobile phone number, and then all the programming of the access can be done remotely. But in the same time, using Bluetooth access, it's a contactless access and touchless access. It means you don't have to touch any readers on site. You don't need to put your proximity card or sometimes your fingerprint for companies, and that's something which is really important, in my opinion, in today's world. And the last point, I could have mentioned many advantages regarding mobile access, but the last point is to offer a perfect combination between today's mobility and physical access control. So when we are talking about physical access control, we are talking about the FDI offer using high-percent controller on one side, which is the standard and the centralized system of the physical access control, and also using the adapted reader, which can be perfectly adapted to any of your project. So first of all, when we are talking about high-percent, some of you knows about the controller and all the functionalities which are offered. It's using a controller which can be used in IP or even in a wiring system using RS485 output. And that's something really important. We want to offer the flexibility to an installer to use either API or RS485 depending on the configuration on site. And the second point is using a cloud-based system. So cloud-based system means you can just need to have an internet connection to connect to the software, but in the same time, and always talking about flexibility, the software high-percent manager can be also downloaded directly on a local computer. So once again, the idea is to offer the most convenient solution for your site and for depending on the configuration and what the client is looking for. Also, so that the part for the controllers and the centralized system. And we have now a new range of reader which can, which they all have built-in Bluetooth, but in the same time, always talking flexibility, and because we really want to let the end user to choose the perfect credential. We offer in all the new readers we propose, there is built-in Bluetooth inside. So even if they decide to at first use proximity credential, you always have the possibility later on to offer this kind of Bluetooth access. So for example, resident might prefer to use a proximity card, but for visitor access, for instance, you are able to propose a Bluetooth access. And also those readers are perfectly adapted to be installed outside with, let's say, weatherproof with an IP rate, which is 65, IP65. And also they can be perfectly adapted for an outside installation because they are vandal resistant IK10. So, and the last point, when we are talking about our readers and our reading range, is that you have two possibilities by offering two smart outputs for the readers, which allow you and which offer all the advantages of our own bus, which is two wires. You have the possibility to update the reader's memory, but in the same times and always talking about the possible configuration on site when you have long distance, you have the possibility to use Bluetooth access with the same reader design and the same readers using RS485 output, which allow an installation with longer cabling distance of 1,000 meters when sometimes two smart outputs might be too short. So when we are talking about the optimized offer, the centralized system, as mentioned, is high-percent. So let's see what are the advantages and what you can mix when you use a high-percent Bluetooth access. We offer you not only a standard access control, but we offer you, when you install high-percent, all the integration and all the functionalities you might have when you use our system. So the first integration we propose and the first functionalities is intercom integration. So either a wiring system using the two-voice, the well-known two-voice from Urmet. As a part of the Urmet group, we have a strong knowledge in intercom system, but also we offer use integration with an IP intercom system, which is Hypercom. So you can use Bluetooth access and in the same time use the functionality of intercom integration. The second one is, of course, access control, and we are talking about access control, but when we are talking about mixed development building, when you have a hotel, for instance, in the building, we offer the possibility of the integration with Onity. And in that case, Onity will be in charge of the hotel management, and then high-percent will be in charge of the common areas of the building. So another advantages of using high-percent and Bluetooth access, especially when you are welcoming in your building visitors, for instance, in that case integration with ODT. The third one, and especially when we are talking about common areas, we offer the possibility to integrate lift management. So let's say standard lift management system using output, but also a lift integration using an IP integration with the two famous brands, which are Kony and Otis. The next point, and because when we are talking about access control, security is the main purpose of an access control system, we offer system integration from your NVR, but also whatever the NVR used. If it's an old NVR, you have the possibility to integrate it in iPerson. And for instance, from an access granted or an access denied, even if it's a Bluetooth access, because it's the main purpose of today's webinar, you'll be able to see and to have a view of the live video stream or recorded video stream. And also always to propose the adapted access, even if it's an employee, a resident, or also visitors. We offer the possibility to integrate in iPerson number plate recognition. So for instance, let's say a resident or employees might enter the building using their smartphone, but for the visitors, you can use their number plate number. And always when we are talking about visitor access and booking management system, you have the possibility to use that function into iPerson. So now let's talk about mobile access by FDI. So as mentioned, I will start the demonstration more dedicated on the building manager side. So how to program and how it looks like when you use iPerson and you want to program a Bluetooth access. And then the next part of the webinars will be more dedicated to the end user. I will show you the key app installed on the smartphone, how to deal with when you want to access with your smartphone using key app. But first of all, let's focus on how to program a Bluetooth credential, a virtual credential in iPerson. So first of all, you just need to select Bluetooth access in the software. I will show you just afterwards how we select Bluetooth access and how we propose this Bluetooth access and how we manage it into iPerson. The second part is the programming of the credential. I mentioned in the beginning that it's as simple as it would have been for a proximity card or remote control. So now in the later presentation, I will show you how to program it into iPerson. Then, and it's also the link between this first part and the part dedicated to the end user. We'll see how we inform, how we send to the user, and how we inform him that an access and a Bluetooth access has been granted for designated site. So now I will show you iPerson. So we're just gonna share my screen, and you'll be able to see iPerson Manager. So now I'm connected into an iPerson site. So as you can see, if I'm going at the home page, I'm connected to a site called Webinar, and I can see that all my devices are connected, and I have the possibility to see that all the hardware installers are connected. So if I'm going on network status, you'll be able to see that I'm working on this controller on the site Webinar on top of it. So if I'm going back on the home page here, you have several buttons which will be used to manage your access control system. So we'll see in different webinars how to program, how to deal with our iPerson manager access control system. So first of all, and as mentioned in my presentation, is that first of all I need to choose the functionalities. I need to choose the right functionalities. So directly using the smart wizard into the iPerson manager, if I go on features, and you will be also some information regarding the integration I propose you. The only thing you have to do when we are talking about Bluetooth access is that okay. Apparently, I can see that. Okay, just a second. Now I think it will be better.
Yeah.
Now I think you can see the right screen. So sorry for this small technical issue we just had. So just to show you and just to start a little bit earlier in the webinar, because you could hear me, but the most important is not to hear me or to see me. It's to see what the screen looks like. So here you can see that I'm connected to the site called Webinar. All my devices on site are connected. You can see that I have 5 those different readers, and this is my Bluetooth readers. If I'm going here in the home page, you know that iPerson is offering you many different solutions. Whatever you use, Bluetooth or something different, we were just talking about the integration. So when you want to manage Bluetooth access, you just go on features here, and also it's also the advantages of using the Smart Wizard. The only thing you should do to program Bluetooth access is to tick the box here, and by ticking the box here, then you link to a credit account. So as mentioned, using Bluetooth access, it's exactly the same way as using a standard physical key. But instead of having a physical stock in your company or in your distributor stock, it's just everything is online and everything is virtual. So the stock is on a cloud server, and you don't have to also get rid of that logistic and transport cost. So now I tick Bluetooth here. So I will now show you how to program a Bluetooth access and a virtual credential. So there, if I'm going on user and access profile, you'll be able to see all the access profile I have for this site. So now I have my access profile. You'll see the user for each access profile, and for each user, you'll see the different number of credentials. So if I'm going on the user called Webinar, you can see always, and it's also when we were talking about flexibilities to offer the right credential for the right user. So for the same user, the same apartment, for instance, if you manage intercom system, you have the possibility to choose a Bluetooth access, but also a standard proximity key. You really want to let the choice to the end user to program a Bluetooth access. And when I program Bluetooth access, the only thing I need is a mobile phone number. So here in the type of credential, I just select Bluetooth. And by selecting Bluetooth, you know, the software is asking me for a mobile phone number. You just have to select here the right country, and in that case, you will not have to enter the country code. And when you have chosen the right country, you just have to put here the proper mobile phone number. Then, when everything has been entered, country and mobile phone number, we really invite you to use the email address of the end user. And in that case, it's the first access using Key App. You'll be informed by email that a new access has been granted using Bluetooth. The other point to do is to choose the validity of its credentials. So we offer different validity with different credit number, depending on the type of user which will enter your building. So the first possibility is the one which is displayed in front of you. We call it short stay. It's typically for maximum 1 day. And it's typically for a 1-day visitor of a company. So when we are talking about 1 day, it's not one complete day. Then you can manage here the time and date. And in that case, you can program in advance to say, right, tomorrow, in a week, or in 2 weeks, or in a month, this designated visitor will visit me. And he will visit me, for instance, from 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning till 8:45 in the evening. Then you can, of course, select it in advance, but just everything to say that it doesn't have to be 1 day. It could be less than 1 day. It's just 1 day maximum. So this is the first possibility, typically for a visitor of a company. Then the second possibility is what we call it short stay, but we could call it also tourist. And in that case, tourist, it's a validity of maximum 2 weeks. But it could be for less than 2 weeks, it's maximum 2 weeks once again. And it's typically, for instance, for an Airbnb customer or a tourist visited a place, a campsite, for instance. And in that case, you know that a reservation has been made, and you can in advance program the access to this specific end user. In that case, also it's contactless, so you can do everything in advance. And in case the visitor, for instance, arrive in the middle of the night and nobody is there at the reception, you have the possibility using Bluetooth access to program the credential in advance. And the two other permanent access using short range is typically for a resident or an employee. Once again, you can manage time profile, so it can be only accessed every day from 8 to 12. So you can manage everything using IPASM. And short range is a permanent access, but only using proximity. So it means that the user, while arriving in front of the door, he has access. He will have to swipe his mobile phone in front of the readers. And the last possibility, when you're talking about Bluetooth access, it's a permanent access, so the same validity as the previous access I described you. And when you choose that, you have the possibility to either swipe your mobile phone directly in front of the readers, or you can just open the app and have the access granted by just clicking on a button. So that the different way we manage Bluetooth. Once again, you have exactly the same functionalities offered when you program Bluetooth access or a proximity card. It's exactly the same thing. So here you can untick permanent, and then you choose the validity of its credential, whatever the virtual credential validity is. So this is how to program a Bluetooth access, and it's really easy. So as soon as a Bluetooth access, and that's something I really want to mention, you just need the mobile phone number once, but after that, we don't display the mobile phone of the end user, really to protect the privacy of the end user. So this is how to program a virtual credential, and it's really, really easy. And the most important things for you to know and for your client to know, or if you're an installer, the most important thing to know is that it's really, really handy, and it's exactly the same way if you program a Bluetooth access, virtual credential, or a standard proximity card. It's exactly the same way. So you don't have to worry about how to program the key, as it is exactly the same thing as it would have been for a standard credential. So now let's talk about we've seen that the way for the manager to program a key. Now the next part of the presentation will be more dedicated to the end user, how will be informed about the new Bluetooth access has been granted, and how to use the key app. So I will come back to the presentation I show you, and in the presentation we'll see first of all how to manage Bluetooth access and how to do. So I hope I will not do any mistake here. I just want to share the right screen, and here you are. Normally now you see the presentation. So let's talk about the end user. So the end user will have it's only few steps to program the end user access. So the end user will be first informed that it will receive a notification by email, and the reason why I show you that it's really important to set and to inform in the software his email address, that he will receive a notification if he has never used the key app in the email to notify him that a new Bluetooth access has been granted. We'll invite him to download the key app. Whatever the devices you use, the key app is available for free on the Play Store or App Store. So just by clicking on the link you will receive by email, you'll be able to directly download the app easily. And then when the app is downloaded, the end user will just have to inform, only for the first connection, inform his mobile phone number. If his mobile phone number has been informed in the IPASM database on the manager side, he will receive just a code to activate his access. But it's only for the first launch of the app, and only for the first connection. And then when everything will be informed on his side, he will have the possibility to activate his access, of course, and then just depending on the type of access he's having, he'll have the possibility to swipe and go, or also to use the premium access using long distance sharing. So I will just now show you that how to manage with key app. So I will share my other screen. just a few minutes. Just need to manage that. Right, you'll be able to see my screen. I open everything. I open Key App. All right. So here we are. I think now you can see the screen. So this is iPerson, and now we'll be more dedicated to the end user. So just see what the kind of email that the end user will receive. It will be informed that a new access has been activated for him. And if he doesn't already download the app, he will see a link to download the app on Google Play or on the App Store. Now let's talk about how it looks like on my mobile phone. So normally you can see my mobile phone now. So here I'm connected to the Key App. So also one of the biggest advantage of using Key App, it's you don't have to carry one physical key for each site. Here you have on the home page the site you can access using Key App. So just start with the settings that we offer the possibility to the user to manage his own setting. So for deaf people, sometimes it can be good to have the sound. So we really want to offer a DDA compliant product. So you have the possibility to activate or deactivate the sound. You have the possibility to activate or deactivate the vibration. You can also adjust the sensibility of the Bluetooth. For instance, if you use proximity, you really want to have your mobile phone close to the readers, but we want to offer the best flexibility for the end user to manage the sensibility of the reading distance using Key App and the Bluetooth. And then it's also always in the same goal, which is enhance the security of your building. We want to offer the possibility either to use the background mode. Background mode means you don't have to, the app is running in the background of your mobile phone, and then as soon as you arrive close to your readers, it will open the door. Or if you want to add more functionalities and more security into your building, you can select screen unlock to interact. In that case, the app will be running in the background, but you will have to unlock your smartphone to have the access granted. In that case, you add also biometric and more security, as you can now unlock your mobile phone using face recognition or using the fingerprint. So it's also an added security we propose in Key App. If I'm coming back here, so I'm coming back in access. So here you can see that I have all the site I have access. But if I want, I can just click on the reader which is close to me. And in that case, I only see the readers available around me to access the right door. So here I have access and I'm close. I'm on the site webinar. I have access to the main entrance. It's a permanent access long range. And if I click on unlock, it will open the door. So you can see that maybe you heard also the readers. You can see that by clicking on that button, I had access to my site using Bluetooth. So you can either do all, here you see all your site, and if I click on the site webinar, I can also click on that button to have the access granted. This is how to use Key App, and the main goal of showing you the way we manage a Bluetooth access is to really show you that it's really handy for the end user. And as soon as a reader is available close to you, it becomes blue. If I'm just taking, for example, another site here, I can see that the reader is not closed. Or if I go on another site, it's not closed. And if I go on here, I have only one reader available. I just click on here and it will open the door once again. So here I deactivate the sound because I think it was not very really pleasant for the user to see that, but you have the possibility to activate the sound, to activate also a vibration when your mobile phone has been detecting to the readers. You have, you can customize and personalize the way you want to access your building. Okay, so if I'm going back to the presentation and to conclude today's webinar, once again, I really invite you to ask all of your questions. But if I'm coming back here on the presentation, I think I explained more or less the way for the manager to program a Bluetooth access. But to conclude, I think, and I'm pretty sure that there are many benefits using key app, and especially the mobile access proposed by FDI. It's first of all a better user experience by opening the door with your smartphone, especially in today's world where people are more and more connected, offering the possibility and not carry one physical key every time you want to access the building can offer a better user experience for the end user. The second, indeed, conclusion, it's also more efficient. You can save time. It's an easy programming, easy management of your several locations. That's really important, especially for a company, for instance, when you have one head office and different subsidiaries all around the world, or even all around the different place in the city. You have just a centralized place, and you can manage the Bluetooth access, which is a contactless access, and you don't have to go on each location to give the physical keys to the end user. So it can be much more efficient in terms of times, but in the same time in terms of money. And also it's more connected. Key app is really answering the end user demand for a more connected environment. Now the smartphone is becoming a mandatory tool in your daily life. So access control needs to also offer that possibility of using your smartphone to access the building. The other point is that it's also more secure. I showed you that you have the possibility to use double authentication, even with biometric, when your mobile phone is offering you the possibility to use face recognition, for instance, with your mobile phone. We offer using Bluetooth access more security with double authentication, biometrics, and you have also less security breach with users which have probably forgotten their credential, and it's in the secure communication. And also sometimes when you want to really enhance the security of your building, Bluetooth access can be the perfect tool, as you get rid of the potential cloning of the old technology used for proximity access with physical card. And the last point, I think, and the conclusion of this mobile access and the key app and iPercent is that it's a perfect balance between a network access control and mobility solution. So that's something which is really interesting for you to mix between a powerful physical access control and a mobile access for the end user. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar. I hope I've answered many of your questions. I invite you to watch our latest videos on YouTube, which might also bring you more information about Bluetooth access and about how we manage Bluetooth. Just checking if something is missing. If you have probably more question, or if I have question that I can answer. Yes. I got a question, which is what happened when I changed my smartphone. So as you see into the software that Bluetooth access, mobile access in iPercent is linked to a mobile phone number. So even if you change your smartphone every week or every 6 months or every year, just have to download the app, inform your mobile phone number, but you don't have to pay for another access. So you can change your smartphone whenever you like, because the Bluetooth access is linked to a mobile phone number. And yeah, the second question, can we migrate an existing iPercent site to use Bluetooth access? Yes, and that's the biggest advantage of using the Too Smart technology. When you want to migrate from proximity card, or when you want to add the possibility for the end user to use Bluetooth, you have the possibility to propose a Bluetooth access, and to just by changing the readers, but it's still 2 wires. It's still very handy to do that, so it will not have any problem. Just give you a few more minutes to ask your question. I will show you the videos you'll be able to see on our website. I thank you again to participate to this webinar. It was a pleasure for me to answer all of your questions and to introduce you, for some of you, the mobile access by FDI. So feel free to ask all of your questions, and I'll let you seeing these small videos we have. All right. Thank you all. Thank you for your participation. And yes, I hope we answer all of your questions, and feel free to contact us for any further things you might need to know. Thank you very much, and see you later again.